What's up, everybody? And welcome to 3 Wide with Tom Ludermoser. So today I want to talk to you, and this is my very first video that I have going to be doing for this channel. And today I want to talk to you about the silly season for 2021. It has definitely been shaping up to be a pretty interesting one. A couple of things out there that are big news and some that are down here towards the bottom. So today I want to talk to you about that, give you my opinions of what I think is going to go on, and I'm going to start from bottom up. So with the big cars especially, first car, Monster Energy Chevrolet, Kurt Busch. In November he did sign a new contract, so he will be back with Ganassi. Going from there, this is a big one. It's a pretty big one. So starting from Kurt Busch, who's staying the number 2 car. This is a pretty big one. We don't have any guarantees. We don't have anything that is set in stone. But we have all seen so far at the beginning of this season, kind of towards the end of last season, Brad Keselowski has not really been too entirely happy on his in his ride over there at Penske. So we've been kind of hearing rumors that maybe he might be leaving Penske Racing. And that's a shame. I'm a huge Keselowski fan, kind of got to be. He's from Michigan at SMI, so it should be interesting to see. So let's just say hypothetically he does not return to the 2 car. Who takes over the 2 car? My opinion, Matt DiBenedetto. That might surprise some of you guys, it might not, but I think Matt DiBenedetto takes over the 2 car. Penske kind of had his eye on him towards the end of last year. Obviously, he signed on with Wood Brothers, and Wood Brothers is kind of a Penske racing arm. So he has done a very impressive job so far at the beginning of this year. A couple of runner-up finishes. A runner-up finish. Just some great outperforming on what he did last year, which doesn't surprise a lot of us. Definitely doesn't surprise me. He's a great talent, so I'd love to see him go to the 2 car if that did happen. Obviously, back in the early 2010s, they did a little bit of shuffling over at Penske, took Kurt Busch out of the 2, put him in the 22. I don't see them taking Logano out of the 22 and putting him in the 2. He has an established fan base, and when you see that 22 car, you think Joey Logano. So I don't think that's going to happen. Ryan Blaney, there's the possibility that they could bump Blaney from the 12 over to the 2, just in case DiBenedetto over at Wood Brothers Racing. Wood Brothers have so far loved having him over there. He's done a bunch of great things for him so far this season. We'll see how the rest of the season goes. Obviously, we've kind of been a little lackluster beginning of the season with missing 2 months, 70-something days without racing. Bugs me. But, you take Blaney out of the 12, put him in the 2, kind of gives him that motivation, gives him that bump. We have seen Penske is kind of favoring it, and some people have seen it, some people say it, some people don't say it, but you can kind of tell Penske is favoring Blaney over Keselowski, maybe seeing him as more the rising star, but we'll see. And then you could always take Austin Cindric out of the 22 and bump him in from Xfinity and bump him up to the 12 car in Cup, whether he wants to take him out of that car this year or next year. So we never know. We'll take a look. We'll see. But that's my opinion on the 2 car. I don't really see anyone else going there. Definitely, it's kind of keep it with Ford drivers. I definitely don't see Suarez coming back. I don't see anyone else really going back up there to take that ride. The next car up is the 6, Ryan Newman. He did sign a multi-year contract, so he is in. He's not going anywhere. The 14 car. So this is a pretty big one. The 14 and the 10. I'm kind of going to bunch these 2 together. A little bit of speculation here. We don't know everyone's contracts. We don't know the details of them. We don't know the finites. But look at the 14 car and the 10. I kind of lump those 2 together. You don't know if Bowyer's going to leave this year. He had a great first half, winning both stages at Darlington on Wednesday afternoon. So he's definitely still racy. He still likes racing. He loves racing. Everybody who knows him or hears him talk or enjoys watching him race, they know he loves to race. So I don't necessarily see him leaving, but there's kind of some rumors spreading around that maybe he's not quite gung-ho about staying in the Cup car anymore. So let's just say he does leave. Who could take over that car? I'm going to kind of bunch all these guys in together in one. Eric Almirola as well, because he just hasn't had a stellar season. Honestly, I think the only reason he's still got that car is Smithfield Foods, and with with Smithfield Foods potentially going bankrupt because of this coronavirus, you might see that dry up, and I don't know that we'll see Eric Almirola stay in the 10 car if that does happen. So I kind of bunched all these drivers in to potentially take over either of these two cars. So we'll kind of call them one for now. Going back to the 2 car, Brad Keselowski. I could see definitely Brad Keselowski wanting to stick with a Tier 1 team and continuing with Ford, but taking over that 14 car. I could definitely see that happening. That is something that I would like to see happen if he did leave. Keep him with a Tier 1 ride, pair him up with the young gun in Cole Custer, kind of give him a little bit of teaching, because he helped out Blaney. Blaney's learned an awful lot from him. And then keeping him with another veteran driver with Kevin Harvick, who, let's be honest, not too sure how many years he's got left either. Another one I could see, and this is kind of the long shot. Everybody says they can see this happening. I personally don't, but you can't have the conversation about Stewart-Haas 2021 without putting his name in it, and that's Kyle Larson. I don't see it happening. Honestly, I don't necessarily see Larson coming back to NASCAR. I think he's kind of burnt his bridge with some of the fans and a lot of the sponsors. It would be a tough sell for Stewart-Haas to kind of get those good, solid sponsors that they have to maybe take over and keep Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson would have to work his butt off to get sponsorship to bring to a team in order to get back into Cup in a competitive ride, which I don't think he wants to bump himself back down to the Ganassi of the early 2010s, which was kind of a mid-pack team. He's always outdriven the equipment, and that's kind of why some people say he Larsoned himself. Just always trying to be too aggressive for what his equipment allows him to do. But, he wouldn't have that problem in a Stewart-Haas car, definitely, that's for sure. But I don't see him going. I just don't see it happening. Maybe if he goes to some lower series, kind of builds himself back up, brings himself back into NASCAR, or, some lower teams, brings himself back up, maybe we can see a reemergence of Kyle Larson. And who knows, he could come back and dominate, become a NASCAR champion, kick some ass, take some names, win a ton of races. But I just don't see it. Another one, this is one that I would like to see, and that is the potential for a Ross Chastain to come up to take over either the 14 or the 10 car. I could definitely see either one of those happening. It would be a great move if Tony Stewart or Gene Haas could do it, get him away from Chip Ganassi. He's young. He's about my age. He's young. He's extremely talented, clearly, and he has a lot of experience. He's run every single race last year, and this year he's running majority of them, and then the years before he's run tons and tons of races. So he is definitely experienced, and you can get him pretty cheap for the first year or so, and it'll give you a quality driver to be playoff eligible for the foreseeable future, in my opinion. I think he is that guy. And then, of course, you have Chase Briscoe, who won the Xfinity race last night against Kyle Busch. He literally beat the best to ever step foot in a race car, a NASCAR. yesterday, and he did it with style, beating and banging, bouncing off the walls, and he outran him perfectly. Beautiful race, fun race to watch. So I can definitely see him, maybe not necessarily at the end of this year, but maybe next year, potentially, to come up into Cup. Get himself a few more wins first. And then we have the 17 car, Chris Buescher. He's locked in. He's staying. He ain't going nowhere. I don't see him going anywhere. I've been wrong before, but I don't see him going anywhere. Now we have the 20 car. 20 car is kind of a hit or miss. Some people see Eric Jones staying. Some people see Joe Gibbs pulling another Joey Logano, letting him go, and putting Christopher Bell in the 20 car. I'm a huge Eric Jones fan. Another one of my Michigan boys, but I was screaming at the TV, pumping my fist up in the air when he won at Daytona. I fell asleep for the Darlington race last year. Sorry, I did. I have a 2-year-old. When I woke up, I fist bumped. I was excited. I was definitely excited to see that. So he is a 2-time winner. But also Joe Gibbs has done it before. So I'd hate to see him leave, but if he does, I could see, without a doubt, Christopher Bell's taking over that car. No one else is in the pipeline. Up next to the 24 car. So we don't necessarily know Byron's contract. We don't know if it's up. We don't know if he's under option. We don't know any of that. But the big thing is today, Friday. I don't know if you're going to watch. You'll probably watch this since I'll probably be posting this real late. But Friday, Hertz Rent-A-Car filed bankruptcy. So that takes a big chunk of William Byron's sponsorship, and it disappeared real quick. Personally, I saw that coming. I've been in the car business since I was 18 years old, so almost 10 years. So I saw that coming, but unfortunately, what happens when businesses go under, so does their sponsorship money. Byron's talented. He's a good driver. I don't think he's quite as fantastic as everyone says he is. I'm not taking anything away from him. I think he just needs a little more experience before he hits that mark. But I don't see him going anywhere. I see him being locked, but I see the sponsorship potentially hurting him. The 88 car, Bowman, obviously, last weekend we heard the good news. Bowman's locked in. I think that would have been stupid for Hendrick to get rid of him. Now that he's finally getting into his prime and the cars are being able to get up there, the Hendrick cars are being competitive again. I do apologize. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. But anyways, so I do see him staying for a long time as well. Chase is locked in for a long time. The next car, going back to him, the 42 car. So personally, I see the 42 car got to be going to Ross Chastain. Got to be going to Ross Chastain. If I was a betting man, that's where my money would go. I've heard some people say Daniel Hemrick. I'm hands down, that's not going to happen. Daniel Hemrick's not getting the car. I say it's Ross Chastain. I say it's Ross Chastain without a doubt. Again, for the same reasons I brought him up for Stewart Haas. He's just purely talented. Here's my dark horse pick, though. It would absolutely suck for Ross Chastain, but he's for the last couple of years, he's been getting used to getting screwed out of rides. What if they keep Matt Kenseth? There, I said it. What if they keep Matt Kenseth? That would be a great move for Chip Ganassi. That would be a great move for McDonald's and Credit One Bank and Cloverfield. All of those big sponsors that they have. That would be a great thing for them to do, is to keep that pure talent and, let's be honest, future Hall of Fame talent in that car. That's my dark horse pick. I don't have my money on that, but honestly, I'd like to see it. I'd like to see Kenseth stay. He said in his interviews with a couple of the YouTube guys, a couple of the Fox Sports guys, he wasn't retired. He was taking a break. What if he gets back in the car? Now he's in there for pretty much full time. Obviously minus 4 races, but full time. And he loves it. And he don't want to go anywhere. What if he says, hey, Chip, can I stay in the car? Another car? So you never know. But I could potentially see that happening. Last but not least, and this is the big one. I'm going to leave you guys with the big one. Keep this video under 20 minutes. The 48 car. Dun, dun, dun. No, so I could see in the 48 car. I'm not sure. I'm really not. Who does Rick Hendrick and Jeff Gordon put in the 48 car? Or vice versa, sorry. Who does Jeff Gordon and Rick Hendrick put in the 48 car? Gordon owns the 48. Most people don't know that. Or most people think he owns part of it. He owns that car and that team. Brad Keselowski? That's everybody's surefire bet. Hands down, I say no. I say Keselowski does not go to that 48 car. There, I said it. A lot of people are saying he is. Everybody's saying he is. Everybody's saying there's nowhere else he's going to go. You know, he was going to go to Hendrick before. That's the reason he doesn't go. Because he doesn't go back. I say, and obviously I don't speak for him. I never met the guy. What if he still holds that grudge against Hendrick? I think the only way he gets in a Hendrick car is if they give him buku bucks, which I don't think Rick Hendrick really wants to do. Look at his other drivers. They're all pretty cheap drivers. Except for maybe Chase Elliott and Jimmy Johnson. Obviously, a lot of people are saying Jimmy Johnson might not stay or might not leave. He's going. He's already said it. But I don't see Keselowski going back to that car. Remember who he wrecked in 2014? Virtually destroyed the drive for 5. Jeff Gordon. Again, I don't speak for Gordon, but what if they hold a grudge? What if he holds a grudge? I don't see it happening. You can take it to the bank. I've been wrong before. If I'm wrong, I will admit it, but I just don't see it happening. What about Tyler Reddick? There's one that some of you guys might not have thought of. I could see potentially bringing Tyler Reddick over. Tyler Reddick is obviously young talent. He has overly excelled in that 8 car and the 31 last year. He's done a killer job. He has kicked ass this year. He doesn't necessarily have the finishes to back it up. I think with a little maturing and a little more patience, because he's an extremely aggressive driver. By far an extremely aggressive driver. I think with a little more patience, he could get up there and he could win some races this year, even in RCR equipment, even in that 8 car. I could see him doing it. I really can. So what if RCR pulls a Hemrick and maybe doesn't want to keep him? I don't foresee that happening. But you also got to look at the fact that Reddick left Hendrick Motorsports Light of JRM, Junior Motorsports, last year, 2 years ago, sorry. And he went over to RCR and won another championship. So he's clearly, he can run good equipment. He can run different equipment and learn different equipment. He absolutely can. He's a very talented young man. And I think that's kind of my dark horse pick. I don't necessarily think Hendrick and Gordon go for it, but you never know. Ross Chastain would be another good pick, in my opinion. I definitely think Ross Chastain would be a great pick for either him, for the 48 car, or the 14 car, or the 10 car. I definitely do. Or he did run for Roush, and people were pretty impressed with him. What if Roush brings back a 3rd car? I don't see it happening. Roush is kind of on a little bit of a downfall. I don't see that happening. And of course, 48 car, can't bring it up without putting out the obvious. What if Larson does come back? Again, I don't see it happening. I really don't. You got Ally Financial that's in there. I've been in the car business a long time. Ally Financial doesn't like shady people. Not necessarily saying Larson's shady, but he's had a shady past. I don't see him staying. I really don't. If Gordon and Hendrick say that they're bringing Larson on full time, because he was the surefire thing. He was the guaranteed thing. I guarantee you, if he did not leave the 42 car at the end of this year, if everything stayed the way it was, I guarantee you, if he did not leave the 42 car, if he did leave the 42 car, he would have went to 48. But that's my opinion, hands down. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. This is my first video. Please leave me some details, some info. If you guys liked the video, got any recommendations for me. This is my first video on this channel. So please let me know what you guys think. I really, really want to know. And please subscribe and follow. I'm going to be doing new videos every day, every other day, 2-3 times a week. I like NASCAR news. I love NASCAR. I love talking about it. I want to get you guys up to speed on it. And of course, we'll do opinion pieces like this as well. I'll do opinion pieces if you like it. So please like it, share it, subscribe, the whole 9 yards. Thanks for watching. And as always, nothing's better than 3 wide racing, guys. Have a good one.